Hello, we're going to show you today how to do the grilled cheese pizza. You're going to need a few ingredients. We got here the cheese that you're going to put in the grilled cheese part. We got 6 sliced or cut up pepperonis. You can do a thick slice and use 4 instead. Either way it works. And we got some butter right here for cooking the grilled cheese. And of course you need bread, and we have some pizza sauce. I made this myself. Use some pizza seasoning with tomato sauce, and you can make your own pizza sauce. And of course the mozzarella cheese for the pizza part. So let's get started. We'll put some butter in here. We've got the stove heated up. We're going to put some thickly sliced cheese in here, not the thin stuff. If you're using American cheese, if you use 1 or 2 slices, generally you want to go with like 3 or maybe even 4. This is Colby Monterey Jack combination that I'm using on this one. You want something that isn't going to melt too easily. We're going to toast the grilled cheese like you normally do to make a grilled cheese, but we're only concerned about grilling or toasting the bread. We don't really want to melt the cheese in this grilled cheese because we'll take care of that later when we do the pizza part. So we'll get this grilled up so it's nice and toasty on the bread. And we got our stuff ready to go as soon as we get this toasted on both sides. Again, tomato sauce, a little tiny can of tomato sauce. I just put it in this measuring cup and added some pizza seasoning, and put a generous amount in there and mix it up, and you got your pizza sauce. For this, because it's going to be a thin layer on a thick crust, so to speak, with this grilled cheese sandwich is like a stuffed crust pizza crust, sort of. And you're going to have not a whole lot on top of it as far as pizza parts go. So I add extra pizza seasoning. You don't have to, but to get more of that pizza taste, I added more pizza seasoning. Now that we're just about done with the grilled cheese, I put the pepperoni slices in there. You see I cut them in half. It makes it easier when you're actually eating it, that you're not with a whole slice, you're not pulling half the pizza toppings off in one bite. Okay, stove off, oven set for broil. And okay, this is looking pretty good. Let's get this off to the side. It doesn't take much at all to get this pepperoni sizzling and kind of crispy. We're having to do this because of the way we're making the pizza, which I'll explain here in a second. Okay, let's get it situated here. The cheese is starting to slide out from in there. I put a whole lot. I'm in a cheesy mood today, so I put a whole lot of cheese in there, and it's starting to slide out the side here in this one piece. Let's get that back in there. Okay. Now, what we want to do here, because bread is so porous, we want to put the pepperoni on first, and that's why we cooked it now, because when you put it in the oven, it's not really going to cook. The heat isn't really going to do that when with the pepperoni on the bottom here. So you don't have to do that, but you get a better pepperoni flavor if you do. Now we're putting the pepperoni and covering as much as we can of the bread. This is a barrier that's going to keep the pizza sauce from soaking down into the bread. And so we want to cover as much as we can of the bread with that pepperoni. And I need a spoon here. Here's my pizza sauce. We also want to spread this as evenly as possible, covering all of the bread. I found that if you don't cover all of it, like especially on the edges, specifically on the edges, in the oven, you're going to start burning the edges of the exposed top surface of the bread. You don't have to worry about the sides. The broiling doesn't affect that at all. But anything on the top, any exposed bread on the top, is going to start charring and burning, and it could turn black. It might look okay, but you you don't want to eat charcoal bread. It's not so great. So taking extra care to make sure every last bit of that bread is covered in sauce. Yeah. And we don't want too thick of a layer. And there we go. One last thing is the mozzarella. Now, I did mention I'm in a cheesy mood today, so here we go. A nice generous amount of mozzarella on here. And this is ready to go in the oven. I have a cast iron skillet or griddle that I have in there. So it's warmed up and I just place it right on there. You probably, your cookie sheet would be just as fine. You can use a cookie sheet, that'll work just as well too. So we wait 2-3 minutes. Keep an eye on it because this will cook fast. 3 minutes is probably an average amount of time, depending on how much cheese you have, how hot the oven gets, how early you preheated the oven, that sort of thing. It doesn't take long at all. Keep an eye on it. And we are there. Okay, we'll turn it off. I got my metal spatula because I don't want to melt my plastic one on that griddle. And here we go. Everything's melted and looking good. It's smelling good. Let's take a look inside. I could have put this in a little bit longer because I had extra thick cheese on the inside, but this is good. This looks good. All right. And there you go, grilled cheese pizza. Great hit. My wife can't get enough of it, really. So there you go. Thanks for watching. And let me know if you try it, how it goes. If you have any tips, let me know. And again, thanks for watching. And see you later.